The story was kind of based on a theme that I was really interested in exploring around how we act out in times of crisis. And I think we all kind of grasp for different things when we feel like there's a lot of uncertainty in our lives. So it might be alcohol, or it might be drugs, or it might be workaholism, or blaming others, or violence, and in some cases it might be sex. So this was a point of fascination for us that we wanted to, shine a light on, and hopefully to bring more compassion for people.
And in this case, the story revolves around the disappearance of two young kids in what is the unforgiving Australian outback.
Absolutely. And setting it in this environment with the pressure of the unknown, those vast vistas, and you kind of feel dwarfed by nature out there.
Where did you film?
So we filmed the landscapes around Broken Hill, Mundi, which is where they shot the original Mad Max.
Yes, we know very well.
Warmly familiar, and having been to Broken Hill last year, I was playing Spot the Location, watching the film. We both want to ask you this question. How does a director making her debut feature film get the likes of Nicole Kidman, Joseph Fiennes and Hugo Weaving all in one film?
Well, I was very blessed. I'd worked with Hugo Weaving on my second short film many, many years ago, and he loved the script, and he had attached to the first draft, and then a few drafts later we had a revision, and he sent it to his American agent to have a read, and who happens to represent Nicole as well. So that agent gave it to Nicole, and I got every director's dream phone call. I was driving along in America somewhere, and I got this call saying, "Hey, Nicole wants to do the movie." I was like, really? So that was amazing. She attached, and then Joseph came on. He was the last to come on.
We know how difficult it is to make films, and we're speaking about 14 years in the making. There's so much, behind the scenes manoeuvring that has to happen. But once you get stars like that attached, does the money just come?
It does. It's not like it just falls out of the sky, because there's always, it doesn't matter how good your stars are. I think if your script, it's got to be there as well. So there's the components of the script had got to a point where it was ready to be financed and it was accessible to people. I was ready to direct it. I'd had enough experience under my belt by then. And then having Nicole and Joe and Hugo obviously accelerated things quite rapidly.
Nicole Kidman plays what I think is a fantastic part. She has repressed sexuality, and she reacts to this trauma of losing her two kids, or the two kids going missing, in what many people who watch the film would see as unusual ways, including using her sexuality.
Yeah, I think we all have different ways of coping under extreme stress, and we were interested in looking at the connection between grief and loss, sex and death, and I think that's very primal, so that kind of need for touch, need for connection.
For me, there's also historical links with great Australian and also international cinema, and in particular, Walkabout is a movie that Nicholas Roeg's film resonates with me. And the moment you have children, I guess, out in the desert of Australia, you can't help but think about Walkabout. Was that in your mind too?
You definitely Walkabout. In this case, it's every parent's worst nightmare. Your kids go missing. So there's Walkabout, Wake and Fright, Picnic at Hanging Rock. We definitely paid homage to these great films.
What is it about children and the Australian landscape that keeps drawing filmmakers back to that theme?
Well, there's a long-time legend of people going missing in the desert, young children, and first it was the whites, and then it was the Aboriginal children. So the colonials came, they took the land from the Aboriginal people, and then they used to feel this kind of white anxiety that the land was somehow punishing them for taking it from the Aboriginals and then taking their children. And then you had the stolen generations, and it kind of continued on. So it's a long history of children going missing in the desert.
Big themes there.
Absolutely.
Was it fun to make your first directorial?
It was amazing and hard work, as you said, long time to make, 13 years, and, extraordinary to have a cast that good, but also an incredible crew. Like, I was so blessed. Australian crews are amazing.
We hear that again and again from Australians and from other filmmakers, just how great Australian crews are. Yeah. So it premieres on the 11th, so it opens, a big celebration for you?
Yeah, it opens around the country on the 11th. We actually had our premiere at the State Theatre at the Sydney Film Festival, 2,000 people, amazing. So, yeah. And the world premiere was at Sundance.
Yeah, and how'd that go down over there?
Incredible. Such a blessing to be in that, filmmaker mecca and premiering your film. And
you set the bar fairly high now. All these great stars in your first film.
Yeah, what next?
You've got to go triple A list for the next one, Kim.
Yes, hopefully something like that, yeah.
Well, give us some names.
Well, I don't have any stars attached to my next couple of films, but I'm attached to an American feature called The Evil in Me, and which is kind of like a darker version of A Little Miss Sunshine, and to a fantastic UK psychological thriller called Hush Money for Michael Winterbottom's company.
Oh, wow.
You've got some good work coming up.
Yeah.
Look, congratulations, Kim, and go well.
Thanks so much.
Thanks very much, Kim.
Thank you.